Welcome, everybody. We are going to go ahead and get started. We are on session 4 of 5 of the Spring Your Business into Action free webinars. My name is Jeff Glover. For those that are not familiar, which it looks like this is the 4th one of these that we have done, and about every single one of these, we're averaging anywhere from 25% to a third of the audience as brand new. So welcome. If this is the first time attending a Glover U session, thank you for being here. I'm excited to share with you what I've got for today. I just finished writing my notes because the one thing, if you're not familiar with who I am, been doing this for 18 years, I'm still on the ground with you, listing and selling anywhere between 85 and 110 homes a year myself personally. Our team does between 900 and 1,000 transactions a year. And this is very relevant. This is very real information. Today's topic around the idea of generating listing leads. Watch how I did it. I took a look at where all of our business has come from, not last year, not the year before, where all of our listings have come from the last 90 days. So far this year, we've already taken over 140 or 150 listings, maybe 160, I think I counted. I looked at every single source of where they came from, and I put together a list of where they came from. And also I put together an additional list of how we got them from those sources. So I'm excited to share with you today. For those that have been on a Glover U session or one of our sessions before, bear with me for the first few minutes. I'm going to go through some of our free resources. Now, if you're thinking, oh gosh, Jeff, I've been on every single one of these, you cover these resources every time. We're always adding additional resources. We're always adding free resources. So even if you got the resources a year ago, chances are we've got some new resources to share. So we always want to make sure you are getting the latest and greatest from those that are on the ground with you. That's the biggest difference. If you're not familiar with Glover U, we work with agents all over North America, from all brokerages, from indies to different franchises. And we are the only real estate coaching and training organization where the head coach is on the ground selling over 100 homes a year in average the last 10 years. So when people ask, well, what's different about what you guys do versus the others? While the others are talking about something they did years ago, or worse, never at all, we're talking about things we're doing right now. So let me share with you a couple quick resources. First things first, if you're taking notes, whether it's on your computer, on a yellow pad, clean sheet of paper, whatever it is, write these down because I've got a lot of fresh notes to share with you today. All right, first things first, I want you to write down the word morning. Write down the word morning on your notepad or somewhere in your Word doc or wherever you're taking notes. And next to that, I want you to write the number 55444. 55444. Why am I having you write that down? Well, because once a day, Monday through Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am now sending out a informative, inspirational, educational, technique, strategy, whatever's on my mind for that day. I'm sending out a short and simple text message Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, absolutely no cost. I think we've got over 1,000 agents around North America on that service right now. You have to subscribe to it, but it's free. So if you text the word morning, go ahead and pull out your phone. I'll let you do it now. This is the one time where you can have your cell phone out and be distracted. If you just open up as if you're going to text a new friend, start a new conversation, you type in the number 55444. All right, just like that, 55444. I know it's only 5 digits. Somehow it works. Not sure, but it does. And just put the word morning into the message. All right, so just type in the word morning into the message, send it off, and voila, it's going to ask you, if you're confirming that you're subscribing to the daily message. Monday through Friday, it's totally free. That's on me, and that's something that I send out. For instance, this week, we're talking about getting listings from Just Listed, Just Sold. Last week, I was talking about getting listings from For Sale by Owners and Expired. So you never know what I'm going to be covering. That's morning to 55444. Well, you have your phone in your hand. All right, I'm going to make your life super easy. I know most of you are already there, but remember, there's about a third of you that have never been on a Glover U webinar before. Where have you been? We're happy you're here. Open up your Facebook app and click on the little magnifying glass. Okay, you click on the magnifying glass in your Facebook app. I'll give you a second to do this. For those that are already in the inner circle, just bear with me a second. And just start typing Glover U Inner Circle, GLOVER, space the letter U, and then Inner Circle. It should come up, and it's going to ask if you would like to join this Facebook group. Why are you joining the Facebook group? Because it is the one-stop shop for every single resource we put out, whether it's a new script, a new dialogue, a new system, a new marketing idea. Some of the things that I'm sharing today are things that we share in the Inner Circle, or I dive deeper into in the Inner Circle. While you're signing up for that, it's going to ask you if you'd like to subscribe to our Gazette. Our Gazette is a quarterly publication. Most of you already have it. 35,000 copies of these go out to realtors across the United States and Canada every quarter. Our newest edition has been out now for about a month. If you want this, our next edition is coming out May 1st. If you want this, it's going to ask you to put in your mailing information. We mail this to your house. So don't put your email address in. Mail this to your house. It shows up in your mailbox, your physical mailbox. 40, 50 pages of real and relevant real estate agent business information. All right, that's that. And last but not least, because we have been starting to get a lot of questions. Jeff, we saw your event down in Orlando last month. When is your next one? All right. Those were all the free resources. This one isn't free, but I'm only sharing it because it's coming up and we're getting a lot of questions. The Live Unreal Retreat, it's in Traverse City, Michigan this July. If you go to liveunrealretreat.com, LIVEUNREAL, retreat, liveunrealretreat.com, you'll get all the information that you need for that. Safe in-person event. We're very lucky, very fortunate. We were able to put an in-person event in down in Orlando. 250 people in attendance, 0 cases of COVID that came out of that event. And trust me, they would have notified us. We were sitting on pins and needles for 14 days after the event, just expecting that somebody was going to tell us that they got it there. All right, so there are some resources. Now let's jump into seller lead generation strategies. Man, this is a fun topic right now. And it's interesting. You know, I'm always looking at, all right, you know, because I know a lot of you, you know, if 1/3 of you are brand new, that means 2/3 of you have been to something before. So I'm always looking at, and our staff behind the scenes will tell you, I'm always looking at it. Okay, yeah, I shared that. You know, I dug deep on that before. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to talk more about this. I'm always looking to share with you the latest and greatest information as soon as we apply it and get results from it. There are a lot of things that we do that I don't share necessarily right away because I don't want to give you an idea. You know, this is what happens in a lot of these training and coaching organizations or in these Facebook groups, quite frankly. You know, everyone's talking about all these great ideas. Oh, yeah, we implemented this. Yeah, we implemented this. Yeah, we implemented this. But then there's no meat to back it up. There's no profit numbers. There's no ROI numbers. There's no data. And know that whenever I share something with you, I'm only going to share things with you that are profitable and a good use of your time. And by the way, I will from time to time share with you, hey, we just implemented this. Now, I will always follow it up with, I can't tell you whether it's going to be a good use of our funds. I can't tell you whether it's going to be a good use of our time. All right. So know that when I'm sharing things with you, it's time tested, proven, profitable as good uses of your time. And if it's not, I'll tell you, hey, we just started this 3 months ago. Here's how it's going. Can't tell you whether it's going to work or not, or something we're going to stick with, but here's what we're seeing so far. All right. So that's, again, hopefully one of the reasons why you follow us and why you're a part of what we're doing. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're talking specifically, I started writing my notes, and it's interesting. I actually had to go back and look at the topic because in my head, I was thinking, okay, my goal is, how do I answer this one question? Jeff, how do I take more listings right now? So in my mind, as I was writing these notes, I was thinking, how do I take more listings right now? How do I take more listings right now? And I actually started writing notes on, you know, improving my presentation and what I'm taking out on the appointment. Then I actually had to go back and look at the title. Crap. We're talking about how to generate leads. So then I had to shift from that to generate leads. Don't get me wrong. There'll be another session, another webinar, another program, something you can sign up for where we talk about the actual presentation itself and conversion strategies. Today, we're talking about where our listings come from. So go ahead and write this down. The first thing we're going to spend probably 4 or 5 minutes on, and any session, any training, any webinar, you have to talk about this. And I know for some of you, you're thinking, man, I got this. I'm ready to go. I'm already taking a lot of listings right now. My mindset is strong. We're good. We don't need to talk about mindset. But really, I do believe I need to set the stage with a good 3 to 5 minute conversation around mindset. And I'm not talking about having a positive mindset or how to get out of your own way. You know, there's plenty of motivational seminars on that. I'm talking about what is your mindset around listings today? All right. So just write that question down and we're going to discuss that for a minute. And don't get me, trust me, for those of you that are like, I want the meat and potatoes, I want the good stuff. We're getting there. All right. What is my mindset around listings today? Just go ahead and write that down for me real quick. Would you please? What is my mindset around listings today? Because I'm going to share with you mine. And I think it's important that I share with you mine so that way you better understand the techniques that we're using to get listings. What is my mindset around listings today? And I wrote down the following. My mindset is this: the path of most resistance. This is my mindset. The path of most resistance leads me down the path to most freedoms. The path of most resistance, meaning wherever I'm being rejected and resisted the most, is going to take me down the path to the most freedoms in this industry. I always believe that when there are talks of tough situations in any market, there's not many listings right now, listings are down. My mindset is always keep telling yourself that, guys. Meaning not you guys, present company excluded. I'm talking about my competitors. My competitors are thinking that listings are down, so I got to focus elsewhere. Listings are down, so I got to buy more buyer leads. Listings are down, so we got to get our agents trained up on how to get more of their offers accepted. I got to make up for these listings being down. Watch this. My mindset is listings are down. Good. I'm going to go get more of them. That is my true mindset when I think about people talking about listings being down. Why is that? Why do I think that there's a chance with listings being down that I can go get more of them? Well, it's proven. If you look back to 2005 to 2010, the amount of agents that dropped out of the business, maybe they were still licensed, but they were mentally out of the business when business dropped. I believe that the same thing happens when something gets scarce in a market. When listings are down, even if agents are still in the business, they tend to shift their focus away from whatever it is that's scarce, right? So if listings are down, maybe instead of prospecting for 90 minutes a day, they're only prospecting for 30. There's just not as many opportunities. Or when listings are down, instead of spending this money on advertising to generate listing leads, they dial it back and they put it more into buyers. I honestly believe that the majority of real estate agents today are feeling that listings are down, and they are, right? The majority of markets across North America, anywhere from, if you're in a good market, your listings are down only 25%, right? A market like ours in Detroit, listings are down 40, 50, 60% year over year. And that's not even counting 2 years ago, they were down 30 or 40%. So I honestly believe that aside from the fact that agents are going to get out of the business, because it's unfortunate, the agents that were doing 7 or 8 deals a year are not only going to do 5 or 6 and are going to be in a position where they can't afford to stay in the business. But those that do stay in the business, I believe they're shifting their mindset away from listings, which means then there's more to go around. Now, you might say, Jeff, where's your data to back that up? Well, number one, we have previous history of that happening from 2005 to 2010. There was actually more business to go around for those that stuck it out. But even if that wasn't truly happening right now, me taking that belief and taking a stand that I believe there's more to go around for me causes me to think about what can I do to get a higher share? What can I do to get a greater share of what is available? Just that simple mindset makes that big of a difference. The last thing I want to talk about in mindset, so you know where I'm coming from on this, I believe that being a listing-based and listing-focused agent all the time, no matter what market you're in, is always going to lead to an unreal life. All right? A life so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. That's what live unreal means. So, I'll never forget starting out early in the business. My very first broker sat me down, first month in the business. Jeff, do you want to be, he asked me this question. Some of you have heard this story. Jeff, do you want to be an employer or would you like to be an employee? All right, Tim Riley, he's no longer with us today. I didn't know any better. I'm 18, 19 years old, looking around at all these agents that, in my mind were old. How am I going to compete with all these old timers? When you're 18, 19, someone in their 30s is old, all wearing jackets and driving Lincoln Town cars. And here I am in my car from high school, my Pontiac Grand Am from high school. I said, Tim, what do you mean employer versus employee? He said, well, Jeff, the employers work their butts off Monday through Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, getting in the office, 7:30, 8 a.m., 8:15 to go out and they're working till 5, sometimes 6:30 at night to go out and take listing inventory and put it on the shelf. Where the employees are spending their nights, their weekends, their holidays, the time they would otherwise spend with family and friends at ball games, showing all the inventory of the employers. So Jeff, do you want to be an employer? Or do you want to be an employee? I want to be an employer based on that description, Tim. And that day forward, I made the decision that I'm going to be a listing agent. And our team made the decision when we bring people in, they're going to be listing agents. We're going to teach them to be listing agents because that is the best way to be. Why? Forget about the income. It leads to an unreal life, a life so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. Well, how does that happen, Jeff? Well, think about what I just gave, the example I gave between the employers and the employees. You know, the average, we looked at our average transaction in 2019. It's been a year since we've done this study. 2019, our average seller transaction, watch this, 19 and a half hours from start to finish, meaning converting the lead, presenting, getting a contract signed, negotiating, closing. 19.5 hours is the average seller transaction for us in 2019. That same year, we took a look at our average buyer transaction. 38 and a half hours for one buyer deal from start to finish. That includes the showing of the homes, the buyer consultation, the negotiating, the walkthrough, the closing, all of that. You can do twice as much business in the same amount of time becoming a listing-based agent. But I don't have to sell you on that. You're here because you want to learn how to be better at taking listings. You want to learn about where our listings are coming from, and let's jump into that. Okay. So I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 areas where we're getting listings today. And as I mentioned, when we started this off, I took a look at where our listings are coming from year to date, the sources of listings. We have a listing board, we have a pending board. It's pretty simple. All I have to do is look at the listing board and look at all the sources, where they're coming from. And then I took all those sources and I thought about, okay, what are we doing to get business from those sources? Why is our listings strong in that area? And I'm going to share those with you because I wrote them down. So point number 1, where our listings are coming from today. Now, for some of you that have been doing this less than 12, 18 months, this is usually not your favorite. By the way, this one wasn't my favorite for years. Forget about 12, 18 months. This wasn't my favorite for years. For those of you who've been doing this for a long time, you're going to say, of course. Well, I was in a position where I did not get a lot of listings from my database for a long time. And I'm going to share with you some things that we're doing right now, things that we've implemented right this year that are helping us get more listings from our database. So where are our listings coming from? The first thing I want you to write down, database is our number 1 source of listings year to date. Let me share with you what we're doing, because you're going to say, well, how are you getting listings from your database, Jeff? Good. I got some answers for you. Database is the number 1 source of listings for us year to date. By the way, 5 years ago, it wasn't even in my top 5. That's how bad I was at this source. Number 1 source of listings today. What are we doing? Well, we decided at the end of last year that we're going to add value to this group monthly instead of quarterly. So we're adding value monthly instead of quarterly. Quarterly, we would do something. We'd send them something. We'd send them tickets to something. We'd have a client event. We'd do something quarterly to add value. We made the decision at the end of last year that we're going to do something monthly. Well, how do you do something monthly? Well, there's a simple thing you can do. Number 1, everyone should have a past client / sphere of influence. For us, it's just past clients. Everyone should have a past client Facebook group. We call ours our VIC group, very important clients. If you're not going live in there once per month and doing giveaways, you're missing an opportunity. Because why? Well, when people are in a Facebook group, they're notified of something that you post, versus you could spend all day on a cool post, on a cool ad, a cool whatever. They don't get the notification. When they're in a Facebook group, as long as their notifications are on, which most people have their group notifications on, and if you coach them to have their notifications on, they're going to they're going to get notified of whatever it is that you're doing whenever you do it, which is why I'm always endorsing going live in your Facebook groups. But giving something away monthly, right? Whether it's like National Margarita Day and giving away, tequila, a little thing of tequila and some lime juice or whatever, or it's National Pizza Day. Hey, where's everyone's favorite pizza? We select one person. We're going to send you pizza on us from that company, whatever. One thing per month. We used to do quarterly. 4 years ago, we did nothing. And then we went to quarterly. Now we're adding value monthly. So if you're wondering, how are we getting listings from our database? We're doing monthly value to them. Create a very important client Facebook group. Okay. We're still following the 4 by 2 by 1 by 12 formula. Most of you have heard of that. I'm not going to go into deep detail on that. If you're in the Glover U inner circle, I'm going to give you a note to write down. If you want to know what the 4x2x1x12 method is, all right, that's the method that we use to add value to our database. If you're in the inner circle, when you go in there, it's going to ask if you want to watch Summit replay. In January of 2020, so January of last year, we had an event, our Live Unreal Summit down in Orlando. I shared the entire formula. It's in there for you. It's free. I'm not going to bore you with all the details now because I got a lot of good stuff to get to. So go find that. If you're in the inner circle, it's in there. Again, it's called the 4x2x1x12, also known as the Glover U database formula. All right, you'll find that in those videos. All right, talking about adding value to database, we're doing active buyer messages, right? So in your CRM, you can send out mass messages in your CRM. Hey, we have an active buyer in this community, in this price range. Who do you know who has a home that fits their needs, right? We all have more buyers than we do sellers. That's just the reality of the market that we're in. Well, every time you have a buyer that's looking in a particular neighborhood, that is a reason to touch base with your database and say, hey, who do you know who has a 4-bedroom, 2-bath colonial between 300 and 600,000 in West Bloomfield? We have a buyer. We're getting great engagement from our database just by letting them know of our active buyers. Now, you don't have to use this strategy once a week, every single time you have a buyer. Maybe it's only something you do monthly, but take advantage of it. All right. And the last thing I want to say, well, a couple more things on this. When it comes to getting listings from your database, remember, your number one database is not just your past clients in your sphere of influence. It's not the leads in your system. Your number one database is social media. Specifically for sellers, the number one social media is going to be Facebook. Why is that? Well, we focus on the demographic of 35 to 54-year-old. Okay, 35 to 54-year-old demo is where you're going to find most of your sellers. And you'll also find that the nice thing about that demo is they have normally 2 transactions, a home to sell, because they're usually still living in their first or second home. So it's a pretty nice sale. And they usually have to go buy because they're not ready to retire. They're not ready to move out of state. They're not necessarily downsizing yet. So when you think about, we'll get to marketing in a second, but when you think about what can you do to appeal to that group, I want you to write that down. 35 to 54-year-olds, you want more listings, you focus on that group. That's why Facebook is the number one source of our social media listings, because that's the most common demographic on Facebook. All right. You guys have heard me say this before. A lot of you have started doing it, which I appreciate you doing that and taking our advice. Get to 5,000 friends as fast as possible. Start deleting real estate agents so you have room for consumers. You click on their face, you see what they do. As long as they're not in real estate and they're in your town, you add them. Why? Because they're connected to you by somebody else. You have mutual friends somehow. You should be spending at least 15, 20 minutes a day adding 5 to 10 people a day. You click on their face, you see what they do. As long as they live local, they don't sell real estate, you add them. Don't ask questions. Don't say, why am I adding this person? How do I know this person? You have 7 mutual friends. You have 70 mutual friends, usually somewhere in between. It makes sense to add them. They're most likely going to accept your request because they see that you have mutual friends. More eyeballs on your stuff. You have to think of your Facebook as your database. You have to think of social media as your database. It was very effective for a few years, and the effectiveness is actually starting to wane a bit, but going live at least once per week. We're going to be looking at creative strategies about how you can get more eyeballs on your live videos. It used to be everyone got a notification when you went live. Okay, Facebook is realizing that real estate agents like us are starting to use it for business purposes, and they're actually starting to restrict some of the eyeballs that see your live videos. It's still more effective than a cool post. All right, going live is still more effective than pretty much anything you can do on Facebook. Not as effective as it was a couple of years ago when I first gave that advice. Engaging like crazy. Comment, not just liking, commenting, going back and forth. Getting people, more people are going to see your comments. You're going to be exposed to people that you weren't exposed before by engaging like crazy. I wrote down, start a build it initiative. Okay, start a build it initiative. What is a build it initiative? And that is build my database initiative. Meaning every day you have to think about, who can I add today? Who did I talk to? Who did I meet? Who did I stumble across on social media? Who could I add to my database per day? One person per day. We're all in the business of talking to people about real estate. I'm sure we have at least one conversation that makes sense where it's good enough to where we could add that person. You add one person a day times 250 working days. In 4 years, you've added 1,000 people to your database, people that know you, like you, trust you, and will send you referrals. So create a build it initiative. We're in the middle of one right now. We started it about 18 months ago, and it's been going great. Our agents are starting to get business from people that they added to their database just 9 months ago. People that they just had a couple great conversations with over the phone. Maybe they sent them a couple pieces of mail. Next thing you know, they're buying or selling with them. Start a build it initiative. Okay, that's enough on Facebook. We'll get into marketing in just a second. Number two, or that's enough on database and Facebook. We'll get into marketing. Number two, I wrote down where our listings are coming from today. Where are our listings coming from today? And I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get them all in before the deadline, because I don't want to protrude into your times. Number two source of listings today, believe it or not, even in this listing scarce market, expireds and for sale by owners. Expireds and for sale by owners. And I clumped them together because the techniques are somewhat similar. Now you might be saying, well, Jeff, there's no expireds in our market. Everything's selling. There's no for sale by owners in our market. Every single one is selling. Not true. Nope, not true. Guarantee you I could go into any market of anyone on this webinar and find an expired or for sale by owner to have a conversation with me today and set an appointment for the next couple of days. Now we've just had to get a little creative. Okay, we've had to expand the size of our territory. We've had to go from being comfortable driving 35 to 45 minutes to an appointment to maybe 60 minutes or maybe even 2 hours. I mean, heck, I don't care. I'll drive all over the state. I can get work done while I'm on my way there. We've gotten creative with how we reach out to them. Besides for text, call, and email, everyone knows that. We're using video messages and personalizing them to them, using their name, using their street name. All right, you're not going to do it on every single one, but identify one or two that you really want. Personalize it to them. That's right. You just grab your phone. You do a quick video message. Hey, this is Realtor Jeff Glover. Obviously, you're aware your home on Banana Street's no longer listed for sale. Just call them to see if you're looking to get that home sold or whatever. Okay, whatever script you use, I don't care. Okay. Video messages. Take advantage of those. People are opening them. People are reading them. I follow a simple rule with expires right now. We text, call, and email 3 times a day for 3 days. A new expired. Text, call, and email 3 times a day for 3 days. All right. So that's 9 contacts. They don't respond after 9 contacts. You throw them away. Jeff, that's pretty aggressive. Gets people to respond. If I had $1 for every single time someone responded on the 5th or 6th, I think to myself, man, what if I would have just given up after the 2nd or 3rd? 3 times a day. Call, text, email. Times 3 days. 9 contacts over 3 days. People will respond to you. For sale by owners, we follow a simple 5-week follow-up program. All right. We follow up with them every Monday for 5 weeks. The key to winning for sale by owners is in the follow-up, because all the average agents give up. All the average agents go on appointment. They say, we're not listing right now. Okay, call me when you're ready. Maybe they follow up once or twice. The key to winning for sale by owners is following up 5 Mondays in a row. Utilize the 5-week follow-up program for sale by owners. I'm going to share with you the go see them rule. We call it the go see them rule. This is something that is ingrained in me for years, because one of my very first coaches said, Jeff, you need to go on an appointment every single day. Otherwise, you didn't accomplish anything. In fact, just over to my left, it's written on the wall in big letters for everyone to see. It says, if I didn't go on an appointment today, seriously, what did I accomplish? Well, where did that come from? Well, because I wanted to sell 100 homes. My coach and I figured out, in order for me to sell 100 homes, I needed to go on 250 listing appointments. In order for me to go on 250 listing appointments, there's 250 working days. I got to go on 1 appointment per day. I hated door knocking. I hated going to people's doors, cold doors, and knocking on the door. So the penalty that I had for myself was, with my coach, Jeff, every time you don't have an appointment to go on, you're going to grab an expired, you're going to grab a for sale by owner, and usually it was 3, okay? Because why did I grab 3? Because generally speaking, 1 out of 3 would always answer, all right? So don't just grab 1 and go see them. You're going to get discouraged after 2 or 3 days when it finally takes day 4 for someone to open their door, and you're going to feel like you're wasting your time. So I'd always grab 3, either 3 for sale by owners or 3 expireds, 2 expireds and 1 FSBO or whatever, just a combination of 3. I always knew that if I went and saw 3 people, I would get 1 person to open their door. When did I do this? I did this from 4:30 to 5:30, 4:30 to 6, in that range, because I already had it blocked off in my schedule that I was going to go on an appointment. I was already suited up and dressed for success and ready to go. So why not? Go see them. You're in the business of being in front of people. Why wouldn't you go see somebody every single day if you don't have an appointment? Now, that's if you want to sell 100 homes. Hey, if you only want to sell 50, then go do it every other day, whatever. Next, I want you to update your direct mail campaign, specifically to expireds and for sale by owners. You know, there's all sorts of studies and reports coming out, and people are starting to talk about direct mail as having a bigger impact than it was, because people are so, brainwashed by everything they see on social media, and they're tired of opening up their Facebook apps and so forth. Direct mail is coming back. In fact, this was maybe 18 months ago. I read this. The chief marketing officer at Nordstrom was quoted saying, "We are pulling money from social media and putting it back into direct mail." Something to pay attention to. When is the last time you've updated your for sale by owner and direct mail campaigns? What is your for sale by owner and direct mail campaign? Create one. We have a program, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, called Listing Mastery. We go through all that stuff in that program. You don't need the program, though. You can do it on your own. All right, number 3, where our listings are coming from today, marketing. I've got a bunch of bullet points I'm going to share with you on marketing. So forgive me if I go through these pretty quickly. It's because I want to get them all out. Everyone that's on live today will also be receiving the recording. So you have an opportunity to go back and watch it if you didn't write something down fast enough or whatever, or I spoke faster than you wrote. Marketing, where are our listings coming from in the last 90 days, year to date? Marketing. Well, let's talk about marketing for a second. Okay, we're not all in a position to put up a bunch of billboards or to do a bunch of radio ads. I understand that. But we are in a position to follow the rules of marketing. And one of the rules of marketing is the marketing formula. Anytime you do any type of ad, a video, an audio, even writing copy, what is the formula? What is the marketing formula? I'll share it with you. Ready? Write this down. I call this the marketing formula. Write down hook, comma, intro, hook as in HOOK, hook, comma, intro, comma, support, comma, testimony, and finally, call to action. Step 1 is hook. Step 2 is intro. Step 3 is support. Step 4 is testimony. Step 5 is call to action. Any sort of marketing piece you put out should follow the rule of marketing. What is the hook, intro, support, testimony, and call to action? The hook is saying something that gets people's attention. Like for instance, in the winter months, saying something like, right now, you probably think now isn't the best time to sell your home. Well, think again. That's a hook. What do you mean? Yeah, you're right. I didn't think right now isn't the greatest time to buy. Think again, whatever. Some sort of hook to cause them to get attention or to give you attention to whatever you're about to say. The intro, right now you probably think it's a bad time to buy because it's so competitive out there. Think again. Hi, I'm Realtor Jeff Glover. Or hi, I'm real estate name with real estate company, whatever. Intro. Support. Think again. Actually, right now is one of the best time to buy because of A, B, and C, right? Interest rates are low or whatever. Support whatever your hook is, right? You have a hook, then you have an intro, and then now I need some supporting information to support my hook, right? I gave them a tease and I got them hooked. Now I need to give them some supportive information to back up the hook. And then, oh, by the way, to make it even more powerful, don't just take it from me. And here's a testimony. Here's somebody talking about, yep, he's right. We thought it was a bad time to buy, but holy crap, it's the best time to buy. And here's why, right? Somebody giving a testimony and then a call to action. If you want the same experience, if you want the same results, if you want this, if you want that, here's how you reach me. All right. Hook, intro, support, testimony, call to action in your copy moving forward as much as possible. Speaking of copy moving forward, stop writing copy that is just sharing facts. Nobody cares about your facts. Everyone wants a story today. Nobody cares that you sold a listing for 118% over asking price in 36 minutes. They want a story behind that. Why is the seller selling? What's so great about the house? Where are they moving to? What was that experience like? People want a story, not facts. And for gosh sakes, marketing is most effective. Write this down. Marketing is most effective, especially for listings, when you can solve a problem. Marketing is most effective when you can solve a problem. Well, what's the problem right now? Well, every single person I talk to says they don't want to list because they don't think they can find their home. They don't want to be homeless. Think about that problem and get creative with things and thoughts, ideas, and things you can come up with to create marketing that addresses that concern. Okay. I'll just use a simple, silly one. In our state, it's very common. It's called use and occupancy. It's post-closing occupancy, meaning the seller staying in the home after closing. Just simply sharing that. Did you know the average seller of ours gets to spend 45 days in their home after closing, which means from start to finish, they have 90 days to shop for a house. Don't worry, you won't be homeless. You just created a solution to a problem. The best marketing solves a problem. Don't assume that they know that stuff. You know it, and it seems like common knowledge because we're in it every single day. They do not. Some other examples of marketing solving problems, obviously iBuyers. You're seeing a lot of those. We're doing one ourselves. All right. Adding services or options to stand out. How can you solve problems? You can create solutions to stand out. When is the last time, by the way, you updated your value proposition? A and B, you can use your updated value proposition as a reason to market, as a reason to share with your database, as a reason to share with social media, as a reason to do radio ads, whatever, a reason to do, to update your website. When is the last time you updated your value proposition? Meaning the exact value proposition that you present to clients. All right. When is the last time that you updated that? In our listing mastery program, we share all that stuff, but I want to challenge you to create your own. Under marketing, I want you to follow the 20% of revenue rule. You should never spend more than 20% of your income on marketing, right? So if your revenue is 100,000, okay, you've got 20 grand. Okay, that's an expense. Okay, if your income's $1 million, you got 200,000 to work with. Never spend more than, some people would argue less. Okay, we try to stay right around 15 to 20% of our revenue. Also under marketing, I want you to think frequency and dominance. Frequency and dominance. All right. Stop trying to compete with somebody that's doing something really big. Unless you can do it on a really big scale, don't bother with that. Go to a smaller scale, right? I use like grocery shopping carts as for instance. Unless you can be the only realtor and on 50% of the carts in the store, don't do it, right? There's not enough frequency there. They're not going to see you enough, right? In our market, every now and then I see an agent will put up a billboard. That's great. But I've got 35 of them. Unless you're going to put up 30, 40, you're going to have a hard time competing with that one. You have to think frequency and dominance, and it doesn't always have to be the most expensive source. I also want you to think about, when it comes to marketing for sellers right now, direct versus indirect. Direct versus indirect. What do I mean by that? Direct, meaning doing direct marketing to get people to call you to say, yes, I want to sell. Indirect helps you with conversion. Right? So a lot of our marketing is kind of warm and fuzzy, especially right now. We're spending a lot of energy and putting a lot of attention into giving back to nurses and first responders. That doesn't necessarily get the phone to ring. Well, we'll get some calls from it, there's no doubt, but it helps us with conversion for people who aren't first responders or nurses. When they hear that, oh yeah, you guys are doing great work in the community, I appreciate that. It helps us with conversion and thus helps us get more listing contracts signed. All right. So when you're thinking of marketing, I want you to go back to these notes. And before you do anything, before anyone tries to sell you any sort of programs, I want you to review these notes before you make a decision to move forward. Number 4, where our listings are coming from today? Circle prospecting. Circle prospecting. This one wasn't a common one for us years ago. And quite frankly, it's usually not a common one. But because the market is so scarce, there's a lot of opportunities to get listings here. Watch. Circle prospecting, also known as just listed, just sold. You've heard the script before. When one home sells, usually 2 or more sell right away. So I was wondering, when do you plan on moving? It's called the reticular activator script. If you don't have our scripts, you should get your hands on them. At that same number, if you text the word scripts, plural, SCRIPTS, to 55444, same phone number, just text the word scripts. You'll get our latest scripts. Oh, Jeff, I already have your scripts. I got them 2 years ago. You got old ones. We update our scripts every 12 to 18 months. Why do you update your scripts every 12 to 18 months? Because we're on the ground. The market's changing. The industry's changed. All right. Stop using scripts from 10 years ago. All right. So the reticular activator is the reason. Watch this. You have an offer that doesn't get accepted for a buyer. Very simple strategy. You white out their private information. You take the actual purchase agreement. You identify 40 to 50 addresses around that property. You go knock on their door. Hi, this is Realtor Jeff Glover. I won't take up too much of your time. I just want to let you know, we just made an offer on that house across the street for $15,000 over asking, $20,000 over asking. And for whatever reason, the seller did go with another buyer. but would you be interested to sell if I were to bring my buyer through? No, get off my porch. All right, cool. Thanks. Whatever. You're going to find somebody that says, come in and tell me what my home is worth. You're going to find somebody that says, no, I'm not interested in selling, but the neighbor across the street is. You got proof. You got a purchase agreement. All right. If you don't want to put any information on there, fine, white it out, but show that this is an actual purchase agreement signed by a buyer. You're doing your buyer a service, by the way, by doing this. And guess what? You're going to pick up some listings in the meantime. Okay. I also would encourage you, instead of sending out just listed, just sold postcards, consider following the hybrid farming method. A just listed, just sold postcard doesn't work unless you're going to sell at least one home a month in that neighborhood. Well, why is that? Well, frequency and dominance. Can you be frequent enough to dominate that neighborhood? And if not, I would consider you do hybrid farming instead. All right, there's a video out there I did 5 years ago on explaining what hybrid farming is. I don't have time to get into it here. We talk about it a lot in our listing mastery program. You can Google it. Probably Jeff Glover hybrid farming. Click on videos. It's out there. All right, that's circle prospecting. In addition, under circle prospecting, we'll add a fifth one. Sorry, this is number 5. I want you to implement, for the spring market specifically, and probably through the summer, I want you to implement the Super Saturday sale. Write that down, number 5. Implement the Super Saturday sale. What is the Super Saturday sale? It's very simple. Okay, you're going to make a decision. You can do this every Saturday. You can do this every other Saturday. By the way, if you were to raise your hand and ask the question, Jeff, what's the quickest way to a sale right now? I would just jump right down to number 5. Watch this. Here's what my Super Saturday looks like. Okay, I use Super Saturday sale because I come from retail. Before I was in real estate, I sold furniture. So I think about retail sales and a lot of things that I do. And of course, Saturdays was a big day in the furniture store. So a Super Saturday sale is essentially a Saturday schedule designed to get you a sale. Watch this. 8:30 a.m. you arrive to the office. Now, this can be every Saturday. For me, it was every Saturday for years. Now it's every other Saturday. 8:30 you arrive at the office, and from 8:30 to 9 you're preparing for your day. From 9 to 10 you're calling expireds and texting expireds and emailing expireds. You're just generally working expireds. Go all the way back to everything that came off the market from Monday. Okay, I don't care if it came off the market on Tuesday and maybe they talked to 10 other agents. It doesn't matter. They're calmed down a little bit by now. It's a Saturday. Maybe they're in a better mood. Saturday mornings, people are more likely to answer. From 10 to 11, I'm working for sale by owners. 9 to 10, I'm working expireds. 10 to 11, I'm working for sale by owners. From 11:30 to 12:30, well, at 11, by the way, I'm leaving to go to my open house. By the way, I have an open house from 1 to 3 on my Super Saturday. You take a new listing, you're crazy if you're not holding it open. I mean, buyers are exhausting all efforts to get into houses right now. Every single listing you take should be held open. All right. The chances of I've never seen double dips on listings as high as they are today because of how scarce the inventory is. So you're holding a house open on Saturday from 1 to 3. Well, guess what? Before you get there, from 11:30 to 12:30, because you got to leave yourself a little time to prep, for just 1 hour, you're knocking on the doors in the neighborhood. You're going around the neighborhood saying, hey, we got this hot new listing. We're going to have a bunch of people here. Feel free to come on by. I'd love to have you check out the house. They're nosy. They're going to want to see it. You're making face-to-face contacts with them. It's going to be great. From 1 to 3, you have your open house. Now watch this. During that 11:30 to 12:30 circle prospect before your open house, you're going to have some people that say, oh, we're thinking of selling. Let me know how it goes. Oh, we're thinking of moving. Let me know how it goes. Or yeah, maybe we'll swing by. Well, 9 times out of 10, they don't swing by the way. So here's what I do. After the open house ends at 3, you get your stuff out of there by 3:15. From 3:30 to 4, I'm going to go visit the ones that I thought were the most interested in speaking with me. The ones that are like, we're thinking about selling this year. Oh, interesting. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you get any offers. I'm going to go back to the 2 or 3 or 4 or however many, because I'm knocking on 40, right? So I'm anticipating of 40. I'm going to get at least 15, maybe 18 to answer. Remember, it's a Saturday, so the answer rate's going to be pretty high. A Saturday late morning is great. Okay, a lot of people are still home. They haven't left for the day. And then I'm going to go back after the open house to the ones that I thought were most interested and let them know, hey, good news. Actually got some offers. Hey, good news. Had 87 people through my open house. Hey, good news. Actually sold it. You still interested in selling? Let me come in and take a look and see if we can do the same for you. That is a Super Saturday sale. Fastest way to a deal right now is doing that one right there, by the way. Number 6, agent to agent referrals. Number 6 source of listings, agent to agent referrals. I'm going to go through the rest of these pretty quickly for the sake of time. Agent to agent referrals. You have to be in Facebook groups. Okay, this is where the agent to agent referrals are taking place. All right. You have to add value to the Facebook groups. You have to be active in those Facebook groups. When you have clients that are sending you business, send them gifts, make a big deal of it. Talk about, promote the sale that you just had and thank them for the referral publicly on social media. You have to own those Facebook groups. Get a fan club, 5, 7, 10 agents where you make an agreement. Hey, whenever you see, obviously they have to be in different markets. Otherwise you'll be competing for the same business. Hey, whenever you see someone mention Cleveland, hey, whenever you see someone, mention Oklahoma, whatever, make sure you recommend me. Okay. Agent to agent referrals are a big source of listings right now. Number 7, taking advantage of online referral sites. Taking advantage of online referral sites. In our market, HomeLight is big. Every market's a little different. All you have to do is Google search, sell my home in Milwaukee, sell my home in New Jersey, whatever. You're going to pull up sites of companies, institutions that are paying big money to be there. And they're selling these leads back to agents in exchange for referral fees. Well, yeah, but they take 25 or 30% of my commission. Would you take a referral from me if I had someone moving from Detroit to Orlando and pay me 25%? Yeah. Well, then good. Go ahead and pay home like that. I don't care. You're going to pay it to somebody anyways. Good for them for investing to get in between. That's just their business model. They did it. We can't be mad about it. So make sure you've got a strong presence on all of those referral sites. Speaking of strong presence, we get number 8. So number 7 was online referral sites. Number 8 was internet leads via online reviews. Where are sellers coming from this year? Internet leads are coming through because of our online reviews. So when's the last time you took some efforts and took a look at your online reviews? How many clients are reviewing you online? Have you implemented a program? We have a 5-star program we talk about. Many of you have been to our events. You've heard us talk about that. That's why we have over 1,000 reviews on Zillow. Be mad at Zillow all you want. It's still the number 1 place that consumers are going. So you have to have a strong presence there, especially when it comes to reviews. Zillow, Google, and Facebook are the biggest 3 if you're looking for which ones to focus on. Zillow, Google, and Facebook. Since COVID, the value of online reviews have gone up even more. They were already going up. And let's see. Under internet leads. Some people might say, well, yeah, but I get a lot of buyer internet leads. You have to get them excited about where they're moving to. Don't talk about selling their home. They're more concerned about not finding a home. So I know it goes against the cardinal rule, which for years and years was you don't take them out until you have their home under contract. You don't show them homes until you have a buyer agreement with them. Check with your broker on all this stuff first, obviously, but we have to get them out viewing homes. Rule of thumb on buyers who have homes to sell. They're not going to talk to you about what their home is worth until they're excited about where they're going. You have to give them hope that they're going to be able to find something. So yes, I know it's frustrating. Yes, I know it seems like a waste of time. Well, what's the point, Jeff? They're not going to be able to buy because they're contingent on selling. It doesn't matter. That's how you have to start the process today, because they're concerned, solving a problem. They're concerned that they're not going to be able to find. You take them out one time, they're going to see, okay, yeah, there's some options out there. Let's get moving. It's even better when they don't get their offer accepted because the listing agent tells you, well, it's because their home isn't on the market. All right, Jeff, fine. We get it. We'll go ahead and list now that we've seen some stuff. All right. Another way to get listings from buyers, do the buyer consultations at their house. We're talking about internet leads that come in specifically from your online reviews. Always close for a buyer consultation at their house, not at your office, at their house, not at a Starbucks. You're more likely to get a listing that way. And finally, number 9 source of listings year to date, current client referrals. Current client referrals. People that you just had an amazing experience with. They got 57 showings and 18 offers or whatever. Hey, by the way, who else do you know that doesn't know about what's going on in the market today that wants to get in on this action? You probably have a friend, a family member, or a relative who has no idea what's taking place. We've always said, get business from your current clients now more than ever, because you have immediate testimonies. You have excited, enthusiastic people about, oh my gosh, I got $50,000 more for my home than I expected. Yeah. And who else do you know that might have $50,000 sitting around that they like to grab from their home too? Current client referrals. We call it the honeymoon phase, right? Ask them at times when they're excited. Hey, just like I'm always looking for buyers for my sellers and sellers for my buyers, I'm always looking to generate leads for my clients. Who do you know that's looking to take advantage of this great market? Never before have we gotten more current client referrals than today, and it helps. All right. Also helps getting them into the Facebook group as well, because you can communicate with them more regularly there. Okay, real quick, shifting gears for a minute. As you know, this is now the 4th of 5. We have one more coming up next week. It's going to be a great one. It's prospecting your way to 100 deals a year with Justin Ford. Same day, same time, Wednesday, 11 Eastern. It's our final spring webinar. But because we've been putting these on at the end of each one, we've always said, okay, on this topic, since we have a lot of people that are watching it live, we have a lot of people that are going to listen later or watch it recorded. What is the number one talking about solving a problem? What is the number one program that we could share with this group that could solve this problem for them? And so every time we put a webinar together, we think about, okay, a couple weeks ago, we did getting your buyer offers accepted. Last week, we did operations mastery. And we share each week, we've been sharing 5-7 minutes about a program that will solve a problem. Well, we have a program that might solve a problem for you, and it's called Listing Mastery. We've got now, it was one of our original Glover U programs. Every season we put it on, it gets updated. All right. It has been updated once again. We have a group that's just finishing up right now. It's starting in just a couple weeks. There's the flyer for it on your screen. Very simple. If you want more information on this, you text the word listing to 55444. Listing to 55444. Super simple, just like you've done with everything else. Listing Mastery, what do we do? All right, well, we are going to be covering from start to finish everything from the lead generation to the lead conversion to the listing presentation to how you follow up after the listing to the objection handling to what you present to what you take out to what you send. Everything from start to finish, all of the sources. I talked about just a couple things on for sale by owners today. We spend 3 sessions just on for sale by owners. We spend 3 sessions just on expireds. We also get to dig into the actual presentation itself, not just the script, the actual, everyone should have 4 different styles of presentation. Why? There's 4 different presentation. There's 4 different communication styles. So we talk about how to adapt to each style, what language to use for each. We actually record the listing presentations during the session and we critique them. We say, hey, you did a great job here, but you can improve A, B, and C. So aside from listing lead generation, which we talked a lot about today, it's more about, which that's a big chunk of it. I mean, we spend probably a month alone just on that. It's really more about, okay, what are you presenting? How are you converting? How are you getting more people to sign with you? How are you overcoming commission objections? How are you overcoming pricing objections and getting more of these sellers signed? And this is the only program that I do personally. So if you're wondering, all right, Jeff, which coach does this? I handle this one personally. Why do I do that? Well, because listings are my thing. I'm still on the ground with you. I mean, a bad month for me even is taking 7 or 8 listings a month. A good month is 10 to 12 right now. So forget about what our team's doing. I'm sharing with you. A lot of times I hop on our Monday sessions and I say, hey guys, this happened to me over the weekend and here's how I handled it. And here's how I got the contract signed. All right. Plus there's a Facebook group that's private. There's role playing. There's all sorts of accountability and additional stuff in there. So it is if you could scroll down on the flyer a little bit. So yes, it's 16 sessions, 16 45-minute sessions. So 16 sessions, 45 minutes each. Zoom, it's live. Let's see, you get all that free stuff. You get half off to all of our events. And it's cheap. It's $3.99 a month for just 4 months. This used to be a 6-month program, by the way. We're condensing it down to 4. What does that mean for you? Number 1, you get the information faster. Number 2, you also save on 2 months of billing. All right. So this used to be a 6-month program. We just condensed it down to 4. So it's starting April 26th. So it's just a couple of weeks. It's starting. If you want more information on it, if you're ready to sign up, just text listing to 55444. You still have some questions. You want to know, well, what are we going to cover? What's this or what's that? I mean, we go through everything. All of our listing presentation material, we send it to you. I drop it in there. All of our review strategies. How do you guys get online reviews? I put it in there. I mean, almost every session I'm saying, yeah, I'll get our staff to throw that in there so you guys can have it. Every single thing we do from start to finish just still takes 60 to 70 listings per month right now in this listing scarce market. That's listing to 55444. Whether you join us or not for that, that's on you. I hope I will see you at our event in July in Traverse City. And at a minimum, next week, where we're talking prospecting your way to 100 deals with Justin Ford. Everyone have a great Wednesday. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for joining me today.